United Defiance. Emerging through the emergency access hatch, Dominic and Talia burst into the lower level of the Azurian command center, water cascading from their bodies. Startled guards raised weapons until they recognized their queen, her bioluminescence pulsing erratically from the swim and, though none would guess, the lingering effects of Dominic's kiss. My queen. Commander Jason rushed forward. We feared you'd been captured. The palace has been breached, and Crixian forces are spreading throughout the city. Status report, Talia demanded, immediately resuming her royal bearing despite her drenched appearance. Our orbital defenses are holding against their warship, but ground forces have established 3 landing zones. They're using some kind of dampening field to disrupt our communications. Half our defense units can't coordinate their efforts. Dominic stepped forward, earning suspicious glances from the Azurian command staff. That's standard Crixian invasion protocol. They'll be looking for your central power nodes next. Jason bristled. And how would you know their strategy so well, human? Because Earth has been fighting them for a decade, Dominic replied evenly. They hit 7 of our outpost worlds before we developed effective countermeasures. Which we now possess, Talia interjected, revealing the data crystal they protected. Captain Reeves has detailed scans of Crixian vulnerabilities. Jason, get our technical team to extract and implement this information immediately. Though clearly reluctant, Jason obeyed, taking the precious crystal to a group of Azurian specialists at a nearby console. Talia turned to a holographic display showing the spread of Crixian forces throughout Lumina. They're moving too quickly, she observed. How are they navigating our city so efficiently? They must have studied your infrastructure, Dominic suggested. Crixians are thorough in their intelligence gathering. A tech specialist approached, her expression grave. My queen, we've detected an unusual signal pattern. The Crixians appear to be using our own planetary monitoring system to track movement throughout the city. Can we shut it down? Talia asked. Not without losing all defensive capabilities. The systems are integrated. Dominic studied the holographic map, an idea forming. What if instead of shutting it down, we feed it false information? Create phantom troop movements to lure the Crixians into a trap. The specialist's luminescent markings pulsed with surprise. Theoretically possible, but it would require accessing the central node in the crystal spire. Which is currently under Crixian control, Jason finished grimly, returning from the technical team. The area is heavily occupied. Then we take it back, Talia said with determination. I'll lead a strike team through the underground passages. We can emerge directly beneath the spire. My queen, the danger, Jason began to protest, is no greater than what my people face, Talia cut him off. I will not hide while Azuria burns. Dominic stepped forward. I'm coming with you. Jason's markings flashed angrily. This is not your fight, human. It became my fight when the Crixians chased me to your world, Dominic countered. Besides, I've fought them before. I know their tactics, their weaknesses. And I'm trained in close-quarters combat. He comes, Talia declared, brooking no argument. Prepare a strike team, Jason. 6 of your best warriors, armed with sonic disruptors. The tunnels will amplify their effect against Crixian auditory sensitivity. Within minutes, they were moving through a different section of the underground network, Talia leading with the confidence of one who had studied these ancient passages since childhood. The strike team followed silently, with Dominic at Talia's side. You didn't have to come, she said quietly as they navigated a particularly narrow section. Jason was right, this isn't your world. Maybe not, Dominic admitted. But you are, he stopped, suddenly aware of what he'd been about to say. Talia's luminescence brightened subtly. I am what, Captain? Their eyes met in the dim light of the tunnel. Someone I'm not willing to lose, he finished simply. Before she could respond, one of the warriors signaled from behind. They had reached the access point beneath the crystal spire. The central node is on the 3rd level, Talia whispered. Once we're inside, we'll need to move quickly. The Crixians will be guarding it heavily. Dominic nodded, mentally preparing himself for combat. On Earth, we have a tradition for moments like this. Talia's lips curved in a smile. Another kiss. No, he grinned. Though I wouldn't object. We say, see you on the other side. Then I shall see you on the other side, Captain Reeves, she whispered, her four-fingered hand briefly squeezing his five-fingered one. With a nod to the strike team, Talia activated the access panel. The floor above them slid open silently, revealing the luminous interior of the crystal spire's base level. Dominic marveled at how the entire structure seemed alive, pulsing with subtle energy patterns that flowed through crystalline veins embedded in the walls. The team emerged into what appeared to be a deserted meditation chamber. No Crixians in sight, yet. This feels wrong, Jason muttered. Our scouts reported heavy occupation. A trap, one of the warriors suggested. Or a change in strategy, Dominic countered. Crixians are adaptable. If they've discovered what we're planning. A massive explosion shook the spire, sending cracks racing through the crystalline walls. They're not trying to control the node anymore, Dominic realized with horror. They're going to destroy it. If the spire falls, it will destabilize the entire network, Talia explained, her expression grim. Including our defensive grid. We'd be completely vulnerable. Another explosion rocked the structure, closer this time. The strike team moved toward the central staircase, weapons ready. As they ascended to the second level, they encountered their first Crixian soldiers, reptilian humanoids in black armor, setting explosive charges along the support columns. The Azurian warriors fired their sonic disruptors, sending the Crixians to their knees, clutching the sides of their heads in agony. Dominic moved in swiftly, disarming the nearest soldier and using the Crixian's own weapon to disable the explosive charge. We need to reach the central node before they set all the charges, he called out as the team engaged more Crixian soldiers streaming in from adjoining chambers. Talia fought with unexpected ferocity, her royal scepter transforming into a weapon that emitted powerful energy pulses. She moved with a fluid grace that belied her regal bearing, every strike precise and deadly. The third level, she shouted above the chaos. We must reach it now. Dominic and three warriors pushed forward, creating a path for Talia toward the next staircase. Jason and the remaining team held back the Crixian reinforcements. They ascended to find the third level already in ruins, with massive holes blasted through the walls exposing the chamber to the amber sky outside. At the center stood the node, a massive crystal formation that pulsed with the same energy as the walls, but brighter, more focused. And surrounding it, a full squad of Crixian elite warriors led by a commanding officer Dominic recognized with a jolt. General Dracus, he breathed. The Crixian commander turned, his scaled face splitting into what passed for a smile among his kind. Captain Reeves. How convenient. I had planned to hunt you down after destroying this primitive facility. Primitive. Talia stepped forward, her royal bearing magnificent even in battle. Our technology was ancient when your species still dwelled in caves, Crixian. Dracus's yellow eyes narrowed. The famous Azurian queen. 2 prizes in one location. This pleases me. Call off your attack, Dominic demanded. The star charts I carried have already been distributed to both Earth and Azurian defense forces. Your surprise advantage is gone. You think this is merely about strategic advantage? Dracus laughed, a harsh sound like stones grinding together. The Crixian Empire expands because it must. Resources, territory, these are the lifeblood of an evolving species. Your worlds stand in our path. Therefore, they must fall. While Dracus spoke, Dominic noticed the Azurian warriors slowly spreading out, taking tactical positions around the chamber. Talia had positioned herself closer to the central node, her hand hovering near a control panel. You speak of evolution, Talia replied, keeping Dracus's attention fixed on her. Yet you understand so little of it. True evolution isn't conquest, it's adaptation. Cooperation. Symbiosis. Pretty words from a dying species, Dracus sneered, raising his weapon. Everything happened at once. Talia's hand slammed down on the control panel. The central node flared with blinding light, sending a pulse wave through the entire structure. The Azurian warriors activated their sonic disruptors simultaneously, the combined effect amplified by the crystal chamber. Dominic tackled Dracus as the Crixian general fired, the energy blast going wide and striking a supporting column. The entire structure groaned ominously. What have you done? Dracus demanded as he struggled against Dominic's hold. Reverse the polarity of your explosive charges, Talia explained calmly, even as the building shuddered around them. and triggered a harmonic resonance that will disable every Crixian neural implant within 5 kilometers. As if to confirm her words, Dracus seized up, his eyes rolling back as the neural implant at the base of his skull, standard issue for all Crixian commanders, emitted a shower of sparks. "We need to evacuate now," Dominic shouted as chunks of crystal began falling from the ceiling. "The whole spire is coming down." Talia operated the control panel again, her fingers dancing across the surface with practiced ease. "Not down," she corrected. "Up." The floor beneath them hummed with increasing intensity. Through the holes in the walls, Dominic saw the ground falling away. The entire top section of the crystal spire was detaching, rising into the air. "It's a ship?" he asked incredulously. "An emergency evacuation vessel, designed by my ancestors," Talia explained as she continued the launch sequence. "It hasn't been activated in centuries, but the systems remained ready." The Crixians, incapacitated by the neural disruption, lay helpless on the deck as the vessel ascended through Azuria's atmosphere. Through viewports that materialized in the crystalline walls, Dominic could see the Crixian warship in orbit, and directly in their path. "We're on a collision course," he realized. "Not exactly," Talia replied with a smile that combined royal confidence with something more mischievous. "Watch." As they approached the warship, the crystal vessel began to glow with increasing intensity. Energy built around them, focusing through the central node like a lens. "The primary weapon of the Ancient Ones," Talia explained. "Modified by my ancestors for defense rather than destruction. It targets technology while leaving organic matter unharmed." A beam of pure white energy lanced from the vessel, striking the Crixian warship. Rather than exploding, the ship simply stopped. All lights extinguished, all systems deactivated simultaneously. "Dead in space," Dominic breathed. "That's incredible." "And temporary," Talia cautioned. "The effect will last approximately 12 hours, enough time for your Earth Alliance vessels to arrive. I took the liberty of sending a distress signal during the battle." Dominic stared at her in amazement. "You've thought of everything." "Not everything," she admitted, her luminescence taking on that particular pattern he'd come to recognize as personal rather than professional. "For instance, I haven't yet determined what to do about us." "Us?" Dominic echoed, suddenly acutely aware that the Azurian warriors were pointedly looking elsewhere, giving their queen a moment of privacy. "A human captain and an Azurian queen," she clarified. "Our worlds have been distant allies at best, suspicious neighbors at worst. What happens when they discover their leaders have formed a personal connection?" "They adapt," Dominic suggested, moving closer to her. "Isn't that what you said evolution is truly about? Adaptation. Cooperation. Symbiosis." Her eyes met his, luminescent and filled with an emotion that transcended species. "It won't be simple." "The best things rarely are," he replied, taking her 4-fingered hand in his 5-fingered one. "But I'm willing to try if you are." Before she could respond, the communication system activated. A holographic projection appeared, Elder Voros and the High Council, their expressions a mixture of relief and astonishment. "My queen," Elder Voros began, his earlier hostility notably absent. "Reports from Lumina indicate the Crixian forces have collapsed. Our warriors report some kind of neural failure across their entire invasion force. And now we receive word that their warship has been neutralized. How is this possible?" Talia straightened, every inch the queen once more, though she didn't release Dominic's hand. "Through cooperation, Elder Voros. Captain Reeves provided crucial intelligence about Crixian vulnerabilities, and together we were able to activate the Crystal Spire's defensive capabilities." The Elder's gaze shifted to Dominic, then to their joined hands. Something like understanding dawned in his ancient eyes. "Perhaps," he said slowly, "the Council has been hasty in its judgment of humans. And perhaps it is time for our worlds to forge stronger bonds." "I couldn't agree more, Elder," Talia replied, her fingers tightening around Dominic's. "In fact, I propose a formal alliance between Earth and Azuria, beginning with a joint defense initiative against the Crixian Empire." "A bold proposal," another council member commented. "But one worth considering, given today's events." "We shall discuss it upon your return, my queen," Elder Voros concluded. "The council thanks both you and Captain Reeves for your service to Azuria." As the holographic projection faded, Talia turned to Dominic, a smile playing on her lips. Well, Captain, it seems your diplomatic mission may be extended indefinitely. I can think of worse assignments, he replied, returning her smile. Though I should warn you, Earth's diplomatic protocols might require extensive, cultural exchange. Her luminescence brightened with amusement. Cultural exchange? Is that what humans call it? Among other things, he murmured, drawing her closer. Then perhaps we should begin right away, she suggested, her voice dropping to a whisper. For the sake of interstellar relations, of course. Of course, Dominic agreed solemnly, before his composure broke and he laughed. You know, when I was assigned this mission to chart the Vermilion Nebula, I never imagined it would end with me negotiating treaties with an alien queen. And I never imagined that a human ship crashing on my shores would lead to anything but diplomatic headaches, Talia admitted. Life, it seems, delights in surprising us. As the crystal vessel began its descent back toward Lumina, they stood together at the viewport, watching the twin suns of Azuria cast their golden light across the crystalline city below. The damage from the Crixian attack was visible, but already Dominic could see Azurian restoration teams at work, their innate connection to the living architecture allowing rapid repairs. Your world is remarkable, he said softly. As is its queen. Talia's luminescence pulsed in that now familiar pattern that he'd come to recognize as her equivalent of a blush. You humans have a saying, I believe. Something about flattery. Getting you everywhere. Dominic supplied with a grin. That's the hope. She laughed, the sound like crystal chimes in the gentle breeze. We have a similar expression on Azuria. Though ours translates more accurately as, sweet words soften even the most ancient crystals. I'll have to remember that, he said, turning to face her fully. Because I suspect I'll need all the help I can get when I explain to my superiors that I've fallen for an alien queen. Her eyes widened slightly. Fallen. An Earth expression, he explained gently. It means. I know what it means, she interrupted, her voice soft. We have that expression too. Though ours is more like, when souls recognize their cosmic echo. I like that better, Dominic admitted. It's more accurate. As the vessel touched down in the central plaza of Lumina, they could see a gathering crowd of Azians waiting to welcome their queen home. Mixed among them were the first human faces besides Dominic's, Earth Alliance officers from the advanced scout ship that had responded to Talia's distress call. Two worlds, coming together in the aftermath of conflict. Two species, finding common ground despite centuries of distance and suspicion. Two souls, recognizing their cosmic echo across the stars. Ready to make history? Dominic asked, offering his arm in the formal Earth manner. Talia linked her arm with his, adapting effortlessly to the human custom. With you. Always. Together, they stepped forward to greet their united future, each marveling at how a simple misunderstanding on a crystalline shore had led to an interstellar alliance, and a love that defied the very boundaries of biology. As the doors opened and the cheers of both humans and Azians filled the air, Dominic leaned close to whisper in Talia's ear, by the way, about that anatomical confusion when we first met. Her luminescence flared brightly. Perhaps we should save that particular cultural exchange for private diplomatic sessions. His laughter joined hers as they stepped into the light together, beginning a new chapter not just for themselves, but for both their worlds. The end.